Good afternoon, everyone. I am Lakshmita, second year BE CSE, and on behalf of PSG College of Technology, it is my pleasure to welcome you all to today's panel discussion on the future of employability, mitigating job displacement risks in the age of AI. We are delighted to have distinguished guests, faculty, and students join us for what promises to be an engaging and thought-provoking conversation. Artificial intelligence is no longer a concept confined to research labs or the pages of science fiction. It has become a transformative force, reshaping industries, redefining professional skill sets, and reimagining the very nature of human work. Its reach now extends across sectors as diverse as healthcare, finance, manufacturing, and education. As automation and AI systems grow increasingly capable, a pressing question confronts students, professionals, and policymakers alike. How do we remain relevant, resilient, and resourceful in a rapidly evolving technological landscape? Today's discussion aims to explore precisely that. I now invite Mr. Ravi Pravin G, Secretary Men, to welcome the gathering.
Good afternoon to everyone present here. On behalf of the Students' Union of PSG College of Technology, it is my great pleasure to welcome you all to this panel discussion organized as a part of KRIYA 2026. We are delighted to have all faculty members, dignitaries, students, and participants gathered here today for an engaging and insightful session. Today's discussion focuses on a very relevant and timely theme: AI workforce unplugged, skills, shifts, survival, and employability. As artificial intelligence continues to transform industries and redefine the nature of work, it becomes increasingly important for students and professionals to understand how to adapt, upskill, and remain relevant in the evolving job landscape. We are truly honored to have an esteemed panel of experts who bring diverse perspectives from government initiatives, industry innovation, and professional practice. First, it is our privilege to welcome Sri Mohammed Y. Safirullah K. IAS, Director at the India AI Mission under the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, Government of India. We welcome you, sir. With his leadership in shaping national AI initiatives, his insights into policy, technology development, and workforce readiness will provide us with a broader perspective on how India is preparing for an AI-driven future. Next, we warmly welcome Mr. Arun Kumar A, co-founder and director of Shamla Tech Solutions. We welcome you, sir. His work in pioneering Web3 technologies, blockchain, artificial intelligence, and the metaverse represents the forefront of emerging digital innovation. We look forward to hearing his views on how these technologies are transforming industries and creating new career opportunities. We also extend our welcome to Mr. Pranav Shankar Ramalingam, OA Analyst 2 at Oracle Financial Service Software, Bangalore. We welcome you, sir. With his professional experience in the technology and financial services domain, he brings valuable insights into how AI and automation are influencing real-world industry roles and skill expectations. Guiding today's discussion is our moderator, Mr. Sanjay J., pre-final year student from CSE AI/ML at PSG College of Technology, who will help steer this conversation and ensure an engaging exchange of ideas. We also extend a warm welcome to Dr. G.R. Karpagam, Director of the PSG AI Consortium, for guiding us for the event. We sincerely thank all our panelists for taking the time to join us today and share their expertise with the student community. Your perspectives will certainly help us understand how to navigate the future of employability in the age of artificial intelligence. Once again, I warmly welcome you all to the discussion. Thank you.
I request the panelists and the moderator to take the stage. To explore these themes with the depth and nuance they deserve, we will now move into the panel discussion segment of today's program. Our panelists will share their perspectives on how artificial intelligence is reshaping the workforce landscape, the skills that will define the next generation of professionals, and the concrete steps students can take today to position themselves for success in an AI-driven world. To guide this discussion, we have with us a moderator whose experience and insight make him well suited to steer this conversation. I am pleased to invite Mr. Sanjay Jaykumar, third year BE CSE, who has been chosen to moderate today's session. He has been actively involved in student leadership, serving the Computer Science and Engineering Association as the Joint Secretary for 2 consecutive years. He has also taken up the role of Head of Events at the Cybersecurity Club, where he contributes to organizing technical events and initiatives. Having strong interests and foundation in artificial intelligence and machine learning, he brings both technical expertise and leadership abilities. With his guidance, we hope to have a thoughtful and engaging discussion. I now invite him to take over the proceedings and lead the panel discussion.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. So yeah, I join in hands with the Secretary Men and the MC team in welcoming you all to the panel discussion of KRIYA 2026. So let me begin with a small quote by a futurist, Alvin Toffler. So he says that we are in 21st century, and people who doesn't know to read and write are not illiterate. But people who fail to learn, unlearn and relearn those are illiterates. So but centuries before itself, Thiruvalluvar has said it in Thirukural. He says, Karka kasadara karpavai katrapin nirka adarku taga. So which means that you learn something deep, meaningful, and you take it for your life so that some way it will help you and you'll be practicing it in your life. So with this, which sets the context for today's discussion, and we are in the era of artificial intelligence, where it is changing our lifestyle, changing our work style, changing our skills that we need to learn. And in this modern era, that is a change that we need to undergo to survive in this era. And that is where we individuals need to work in this AI augmented world. And with this, the title for today's panel discussion, The Future of Employability, Mitigating Job Displacement Risk in the Age of AI. So we have 3 panelists with us. We have Shri Mohammad Y. Safirullah K. IAS sir, we have Mr. Arun Kumar A. sir, and we have Mr. Pranav Shankar sir. So I will ask the MC team to give a small intro about them, and the panelists will share their pitch presentation to all of us.
Thank you, Sanjay. Our first panelist is Mr. Mohammad Y. Safirullah, an Indian Administrative Service Officer of the 2010 batch with 19 years of professional experience, including 15 years in senior government leadership and 5 years in global IT firms, namely IBM and TCS. He currently serves as Director of the India AI Mission in the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, Government of India, where he plays an active role in strengthening the country's digital and AI ecosystem. He recently completed his Master of Public Administration as an Edward S. Mason Fellow at Harvard Kennedy School with cross-registrations at MIT in AI and Emerging Technologies. His academic credentials further include an MS in Public Policy and Management with a specialization in Digital Transformation and Analytics from Carnegie Mellon University, an MBA from TAPME, and a Bachelor of Engineering in Electrical and Electronics Engineering, Sandwich, from our own PSG College of Technology. Over the course of his distinguished career, he has worked across sectors including health, information technology, revenue, finance, disaster management, and climate resilience. Sir, the stage is yours for your presentation.
Respected faculty friends, thank you for the opportunity. The initial remarks I have about 5 slides where I thought I can portray my view about this particular topic. Yeah, next slide. Talking about future of work, I feel it would be better if we break down the entire scope of job creation into 3 buckets. The first one is the displacement, the job categories which would not be there. The second one would be augmentation, the category of jobs where AI would play a significant role in adding value. The third one would be the creation, the new set of job categories which may come up. The displacement, most of the aspects which would be vulnerable would be which is susceptible to automation, the repeatable form of job, the coding, and aspects which can easily be put in a form of an algorithm. In the form of augmentation, we have systems where human and AI's models or agents are envisaged to work together. For example, the job of health practitioners, where a job of a human being is involved in talking to another fellow human being, in the field where HR relations are involved. So a lot of these aspects we have the augmentation, where both human and the AI components are going to be there. And third one, of course, is the new set of emerging new occupation and trends, the job category which is going to be evolved. Next slide. With that in mind, if you look at some statistics before going to the discussion, if you look at the young population, that is 22 to 25, and the fresh graduates hit the market, we have 16% fall in the total number of jobs which are created in that bucket. So this is from the Anthropic Labor Market Report released just in March 2026. So this is at an international level, not pertaining to India. So this has to be treated with that background. So that is the first impact. And second impact is that if you see, this report also mentions, thank you. This report also mentions that 40% of the white collar jobs which are now can be in one form or the other be done with AI. Then we have about 50 crore people in our country who are going to get into the job market, with about 1 million every month who are going to get into the job market across all the domains, from the lower spectrum of the job to highly tech spectrum. So across the entire spectrum, we have 1 million new people who are going to get into the job market freshly every month in our country. There are a few other important statistics which this report highlights. One is, though we find that 94% of task and knowledge occupations can be done, only 33% is right now being adopted, which is for various of reasons. It may be because of the systemic issues, it may be because of absorption issues in terms of not sufficient talent available in human resources. But that is one important statistic that I thought we should highlight. But ultimately, looking at this report, which is one of the reputed report in this particular sector, we find that it is not eliminating work, but redefining the nature, structure, and the skills required for the work. Now, looking at the employability in AI economy, if you look at per se, if you put some structure, in my perspective, there are three aspects. One is the AI literacy per se. Of course, the nuts and bolts of artificial intelligence, machine learning has to be learned. The second is the domain expertise and the AI fluency in that particular domain expertise. Every domain has various levels of AI evolution and adoption. So to what extent is that individual specialized in that field, and AI fluency along with that. The third and important thing is human judgment and leadership. The first and second does not substitute the human judgment on where AI should be deployed, to what extent it should not be done. So these forms a very critical element which will be overemphasized in the days to come, because there is going to be a lot of power in the hands of the developers who are going to implement. So these combination of these three in various proportions would be looked in my view, in the employability market. Looking at the workforce reinvention, I would like to put that in the spectrum of human AI work spectrum. On one side is a fully human work, on the other side is fully automated work, right? Fully automated, we know, which is repeatable in nature, it's all fully automated. Fully human also, we know a lot of work which will be human to the large extent, like we have certain HR relationship, certain the doctor-patient relationship, that conveying on the interaction, this is going to be fully, at least human for the time being. But in between, if we see two categories, one is human-led and AI-assisted, second, AI-led and human-supervised. So you see the human in the loop. The first one, human-led and AI-assisted, is a sort of, let us say, a radiologist's job. So he or she is going to be tremendously assisted through the ML or through various forms of AI, deep learning methodologies on what this actual radiology images is going to come about. But this is always going to be, at least for now, human led, right? So the doctor or the specialist has to make a case out of that. In case of AI-led and human-supervised, these would be the bulk decision makings on emails and all which comes in the back end. For processing that, AI is required, but it will always be human-supervised. So human has to decide on a lot of cases coming in bulk. So if we look at this spectrum, I thought that the discussion can be more targeted on what exactly is going to be the impact. Some new roles, if you see, based on the new emerging things, if you see, we have AI trainer jobs which are coming up, prompt engineers, of course, has come up, AI auditor, ethics officer, MLOps engineer, human AI workflow designer, AI assisted legal analyst, also an analyst in all domains, vernacular AI content curator, and AI product managers. These are not entry-level jobs. These require a certain level of specialization over a period of time. Now, there are various schemes we'll touch as the discussion progresses, which government has envisaged on skilling and reskilling to ensure that the workforce is ready. So this is what initially I thought I will share so that before we go into the deeper discussion, to look at it's not human or AI, it's human plus AI, and therefore we have to look into a spectrum. We have to look into a spectrum of the jobs from AI and human on the other side, and also look at jobs at various levels of automation which is possible. With that in the background, I thought the discussion, it will help the discussion to be more productive. Further thoughts I'll convey during the, as the session processes. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Moving on, we have Mr. Arun Kumar, a technology entrepreneur and co-founder of Shamla Tech Solutions, a company specializing in artificial intelligence, blockchain, and Web3 technologies. He is an alumnus of PSG College of Technology from the 2006 Computer Science batch. Prior to founding Shamla Tech, he spent 6 years with Cisco Systems in the wireless networking domain, gaining extensive experience in large-scale global technology systems. Today, he focuses on building AI-driven platforms, decentralized technologies, and innovative digital products that will help businesses adapt to the rapidly evolving digital economy. His work explores how artificial intelligence can augment human capabilities, create new opportunities, and reshape the future of work. With the rapid advancement of AI technologies, industries across the globe are undergoing significant and at times unprecedented transformation. While these developments unlock extraordinary new possibilities, they simultaneously raise important questions about workforce readiness, skill adaptability, and the long-term future of employment. Sir, the stage is yours for your presentation.
Thanks for the introduction. Good afternoon, everyone. Let me start with a simple story today. Imagine there are two professionals graduating out from the same college. So both are well educated, equally intelligent, and both are starting their careers at the same time. So one professional thinks that AI is an innovative technology. It's interesting technology, but still it is not something that's going to impact his career. But the other professional is very curious about this AI. He tries hands-on with many AI tools and then starts using those tools in his company. Now fast forward 2 years. What happens now? The second professional is actually doing the work of a team. I mean, he's doing work which was done earlier by an entire team. He's become more productive and he's added a lot of value to the organization, while the first professional is still catching up. So what is the difference between the two? It's not the opportunity or the timing, but the adaptation. So AI is really changing the nature of work that we're doing today. It's not just another technology wave. First time in the history, machines are actually assisting the cognitive work and not just the manual work. So the AI automates the routine tasks that are done in the companies. So these routine tasks are useful for various applications. So these are actually amplifying the human capability because they are assisting in whatever he is doing. AI in industry. So let me give you an example workflow. In many companies, AI intelligence systems are used for intelligent lead management. So what happens when there is a client requirement that comes to a service development company? So there is a lead that's getting generated. The client asks for development of a specific product platform. So an agent qualifies the lead initially. It finds out whether the requirement is legitimate and if it's come from a qualified client. And then it follows up with the client. It does the emailing. It even calls up the client in the same language as the client in. And then there is another agent which sets up the meeting with the client. So now the meeting happens with the relevant stakeholders of the team. And then there is a meeting agent, so which summarizes the entire meeting and gives up the meeting minutes. And then there is another agent, which is a knowledge agent. So that actually is trained with complete business flow of that particular company. So it can add insights during the conversation in the meeting. And then the deal gets closed by the human. So in this complete process, the human is not eliminated. Rather, he works with AI. He collaborates with AI to get work done in his business workflow. So what research shows? A recent study from World Economic Forum says that 44% of core job skills are expected to change in next 5 years. And then there is a study from McKinsey which says up to 30% of work activities could be automated. So automation doesn't necessarily mean minimizing opportunities. Because historically, new technologies have always created new opportunities and new industries, new roles. So what are the skills that will matter in today's world? So these are the ones. Critical thinking, problem solving, creativity, interdisciplinary thinking, ability to collaborate with AI. We'll dive deep into this in our discussion. So one key prediction for future will be that the meaning of the word experience will be different. Historically or traditionally, a professional with number of years of experience become more productive in their domain. But now with the advent of AI tools, a fresher can add more value or have more productivity, which is almost equivalent to the person with number of years of experience in the domain. So I have a contrarian insight here. So the risk of unemployment due to AI is one side, but there could be actually the risk of shortage of people of knowing how to work with AI. Because AI-driven systems will be more productive. So the companies will be looking for people who are aware of how to work with AI tools. So the question is not, will AI replace humans? Rather, how quickly can humans evolve alongside AI? I'm excited to dive deep into this discussion with other panelists. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Finally, we have Mr. Pranav Ramalingam, a computer science engineering graduate from PSG College of Technology, class of 2021. He currently works as a QA automation engineer at Oracle Financial Services Software Limited in Bangalore, where his work focuses on software automation and engineering productivity. He brings a strong interest in artificial intelligence and its role in transforming modern software development. Today, he joins us to share an industry practitioner's perspective on employability, AI-driven changes in engineering workflows, and the future of technical education. Sir, the stage is yours for your presentation.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here. It's been a while since I visited this campus. Right, I'm seated. Some of my professors are seated in front of me. It's very nice to be here again. Right, so in the interest of time, I'll start my presentation. So what I'll be doing today is I'll be taking a slightly zoomed out macro view of what is happening for us as a species. Right. So, okay. Right. So now what I'll start with is how we define what employability actually is, right? So employability is effectively, it's like a container for your capacity, right? So when you have certain capacities and capabilities, that makes you employable, right? So now originally or traditionally for quite a while, how it has been is, you have a degree and some static technical experience, some individual experience, and that leads to a reasonably stable career. You work for 25, 30 years, you retire, and that was the end, right? So now what we are seeing is, in the modern view, your capacities and capabilities are constantly evolving and changing, and you are required to evolve and change to be able to remain employable, right? So now the modern view is, we have problem-solving ability, continuous learning, ability to collaborate, and the ability to adapt, right? So this is what employability is becoming today. Okay, slide. Right, so I will explain this with a reasonable example, something that many of you may be able to relate to. So this is within about 30 to 40 years of history, right? So this is an example, and this is broken into different eras. Okay, so in the first era, what happened was there were books printed, right? And these books would act as preservers of knowledge. These books were distributed amongst people. There was some reasonable structure there, and people were able to learn, right? And then the experts were the authors of these books, and often these books stemmed from places of high academic rigor, right? Like universities, academic institutions, research labs, and so on. On the other hand, so when we have a structure like this initially solved some problems, but also it created different types of problems. So if you see here, you have a book, some knowledge is updated. Now you don't know what's, the book is outdated immediately, instantly it is gone, right? And it is hard to search for information because it's a physical device. How you chain your thoughts and how you're searching for something may not really align with how the book is structured, right? And then also there is limited library access. There are minimum, like a limited amount of books printed, and you have to actually get the book, right? So in the next era, this is more of a sister era. It's not like a unique era on its own. So in this era, what happened was the initial experts of these sciences, they came together and they started something like a coaching center or like a boot camp where the experts would sit there and they would teach people one-way teaching, and they would transmit knowledge and information and wisdom, right? Hopefully wisdom. Okay, so now, so in a period like this, what happened was, we had experts, there were structured explanations, and there was collaborative learning. People were sitting in classrooms like all of you sit in classroom today, right? But then this era also had its own issues. There were scarcity of experts, and the coaching was sometimes probably expensive. Some people out of the good of the heart, they may do it for free, but coaching was still expensive. And there were also geographical limitations, right? So there's no, experts are not spread across the world everywhere, right? So now this era had its own set of issues, right? So then came the internet, right? So once the internet came in, it linked the whole world, right? And it acted like this global information access that I'm showing here, right? So and then what happened was, people started to dump all their information and whatever they knew whatever their area of expertise was onto the internet. But now what happened was a different set of problems got created again, and if you see, there is information overload, and there is no real way to verify the accuracy and correctness of this information, and also the information is highly fragmented as it's not structured. Okay, so people would just post random things on random forums, and there was no structure of this knowledge, right? So in the next, this is something that most of you may be able to relate to, which is the Stack Overflow era. So in this era, what happened was, this Stack Overflow basically became like a repository for primarily people in the software engineering field to come together. They would put all their questions. There was quite a bit of organization, filters, and the ability to search for specific questions. And most importantly, there was also the ability to upvote and downvote answers. So people around the world, experts around the world, could learn things already on the internet and the manual books, and also through Stack Overflow. And the experts could also say whether the answers for certain questions, how accurate and how correct they are. And they could also rapidly update the answers as time passed and as the solutions evolved, right? So now Stack Overflow era had its own time, and it was one of the biggest improvements in the field of software development in Stack Overflow, right? So now, naturally again, this era had its own issues. So the primary issues with Stack Overflow was latency, right? So you ask a question, 10 hours later somebody will answer it, right? Or 10 years later somebody may answer it. By then you would have forgotten what you've been asking. Or what would happen is, the other issue was there's no connectivity, or there's no infinite follow-up with your question. So if you ask a question, you only get the answer specific to that question, and then you don't know what next. And if you have a follow-up question, if you ask a follow-up question, it will take another 10 hours, or the answer for the follow-up question may not be as accurate as the original answer of the original question. This was another issue, right? So now again in the AI era, what happened was both these issues were solved. So people were able to get instant answers, so zero latency. The answers were pretty much instant. Probably like 2-3 seconds of processing and formatting the answer for your question is all AI would take, and then it would just give you the answer, right? And then naturally, it allows for theoretically infinite follow-up. You can ask any question, you can ask it to create an analogy or a metaphor, or you can ask it to explain it through a story. It could do everything, right? So that is what is happening in the AI era. So now naturally again in this era also, there are several problems that are coming about, right? So first is AI. We know AI does hallucinate. We also know we might be over-relying on AI. And we also know that we are not 100% sure about all the outputs, accuracy and correctness of all the outputs that AI gives us, right? So these are issues that we are facing in the AI era. Right, so now what I want to do is, I want to draw a parallel between two different fields of science. The first field is around computer science. Second field is biology, right? So biology, and in Darwin's time, biology was a highly qualitative science, right? And Darwinism effectively in one line is the survival of the fittest. He came up with a lot of things, but primarily it is survival of the fittest. And similarly, a strong theorem and a very popular theorem in a qualitative science is directly applicable in a strongly quantitative science like technology, right? So I thought this was really interesting, so I thought I would highlight that. So if you see here, we have problems coming up, and solutions get created, and the best solutions are like the best adaptations that species do based on the issues they face in the environment. And then they diffuse in the world, they come up as the successful species, and then this cycle continues again and again, right? So I'm trying to like draw parallels between two different fields of study. Right, so this is pretty much the final slide. Yeah. Okay, so this is about what the human specific strengths in the AI era I believe to be, or I believe they should be, right? So the first is the ability to actually frame the problems, ask the right questions. And the second part is, of course, the ability to come up with optimized solutions. And the third part is your ability to think in terms of systems, where you deeply understand how components within a system work, and you also understand how different systems interact and work with each other, right? And the third one is your ability to adapt. Mastering the ability to adapt is the single most important skill forever, right? And the fourth part is obviously, since this AI is a technological revolution, naturally we will have to be able to collaborate and work with it, right? So I have explained briefly why it matters, but that's pretty much my presentation. So we will discuss in depth when we do our full-blown panel discussion, right? So that's it.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Now we heard like inputs from 3 different people from 3 different industries. One from a policy, one from an industry, one from an analytics side. So we'll move into the topics. Like we have 4 segments scheduled for the panel discussion. We'll move to the first segment, but before beginning in each segment, we'll have a poll question to know what the audience thinks about that particular segment. So the first segment will be the AI disruption landscape. That is, you're going to discuss about is really AI taking the jobs of people and all those. So we'll begin with the poll question and we'll start the segment. So there'll be a QR that will be displayed. So I request the audience to scan this QR. So it will take you to the page, and the first question for the first segment will be, do you think AI will take away more jobs than it creates? So do you think AI will take away more jobs than it creates? So meanwhile, when people enter their choice on this question, we'll start the discussion. So we'll start with Safi, sir. So yeah, we'll start with Safi, sir. So which sector do you think like jobs are being disrupted, and which sector do you think like jobs are being reinvented in today's industry?
I think the sectors where it is easy to codify the repeatable nature of the sub-activities, it is highly susceptible to elimination because of AI. For example, most of the coding work, low-end coding work I'm talking about, some of the financial aspects in the financial sector industry, taxation, many of these are repetitive in nature and have precise answers also to specific questions. There is no in-between answer. So these are the sectors where the job impact would be more negative. However, there are a lot of sectors where the augmentation happens, where the productivity will increase and also new jobs would be generated. This, in my view, would be in health sector, in education sector, in public domain. If we look at sectors like agriculture, basically G to C and C to G, both will, government to citizen and citizen to government, both will have additional level of impact which will be there. So if you look at the job loss curve at a net level, including all this, I feel initially there will be a bottoming down, there will be a trough, and then there will be a upswing. So right now we are at the part of the curve where it's going down. It may go down a bit more at a net level, I am saying, and then there will be an upswing. That would be when people are more ready to accept the AI applications. There would be more ready workforce for AI, use of AI in that domain. That is when it starts going up. But I think it will continue to go down at a net level. I'm again saying, emphasizing the word net, because it is a sum of all individual industries, and then it will start going up. So overall it will be positive over a longer period of time.
It's the duty of every individual to learn AI and adapt to AI when we are going down, so the country will grow. We had a good perspective from sir. With the results of the poll, we'll talk to Mr. Arun sir. Like, sir, you have a company, you are the founder of the company. Like, do you think intern jobs are being replaced by AI because intern people do the cognitive jobs and small remote jobs. And are these works are replaced by AI? Like how it is being?
See, at first stage, the repetitive work, the cognitive routine work will be replaced by AI. So we are seeing that stage right now. So where entry-level people role will be affected. For example, basic content writers, basic coding level, customer support. So these kind of roles can be easily assisted by AI tools, right? So right now what we are seeing is job displacement in these roles. So there are other roles where more, where more demand is expected. For example, you still need human capabilities like problem solving, judgment, and critical thinking, right? So it's still human which is required to define a goal, which should actually define the goal for AI to work. So entry-level jobs will be displaced initially.
So we'll get the insights from Pranav sir also. So what do you think on this? So like how is the fresher roles are being replaced by AI? Like how is it going in the industry?
Right, so I will explain it like this. See, basically what's happening is any kind of job or role that you have in an industry, and if all you do is replication of a bunch of steps within a reasonably well-known solution space, if that is all you do, then you are bound to be replaced by this specific technological revolution, right? And this is across all sectors, any sector you can think about. I agree with what our fellow panelists were discussing in the health sector and education sector, right? If all you are doing is mere replication of steps in a known solution space, then you are bound to be replaced. That is my opinion on this.
I think the audience also thinks the same thing. Like people are thinking like jobs are being replaced by AI, especially the entry-level jobs and all those things. So we have seen this first segment, this is the end of this first segment. We understood that jobs are being replaced, the entry-level jobs are being replaced. When we move to the second segment, that is the skills reset. So we saw jobs are being replaced. What are the skills that an individual need to learn to adapt in this situation? So again, we'll have a poll question in this. So the question will be, which skill do you think will matter most in an AI-driven world? So we have 4 options, which is critical thinking, technical or AI literacy, creativity, or communication. So with this, we'll get into the discussion also. We'll start with Pranav sir this time. What skills, sir, do you think like an individual must develop, especially this entry-level freshers must develop, so that they can sustain in this AI disruption era?
Okay, so see, this is how I will explain this, right? So let's create something like a intelligence or capacity ladder. Okay, so level 1 would be a very well-known, well-defined solution space. You do something, right? Like so addition of numbers or something like that. Level 2 would be something similar, but there are some additional constraints and conditions, right? That would be level 2. And the solution space is still more or less reasonably well-defined, but not totally well-defined. Level 3 would be the solution space and the problem space are highly ambiguous, right? So this would be level 3. And level 4 would be your ability to adapt, right? So now in the AI era, since level 1 activities and in certain domains, level 2 activities are being done by AI, the primary skills that I believe people would have to develop right now is the ability to deal with ambiguous solutions, ambiguous problems and their solutions, and also really work on the ability to adapt to new systems, right?
Sorry, yes, sir. We'll continue with Arun sir this time, sir. Like there is a new concept going on in that world, which is vibe coding. So basically people say you don't need to know coding, but you need to know the basics of fundamentals to know to do vibe coding. So what do you think about it? Is it a skill that a person need to learn, or how is it?
That's a very good question. So actually there are powerful vibe coding tools like Claude, Replit, Lovable. So you might be knowing, like those who are in computer science would have definitely tried. Where you can build applications over a weekend and launch the product on Monday. Right, so let us look at this side, right? So entrepreneurship has become very open. So if you have an idea, so you can use this coding platforms to build the idea into a product and then launch it in the market. So earlier this was not an easy thing, but right now it is very much doable. So this is a positive side. Again, on the other side, see, coding is still an important skill for everyone to learn and know, right? That is a foundation, so that cannot be skipped. But we have AI tools that will help you assist in coding and debugging. So you need to develop other skills such as problem solving and then working effectively with AI tools along with coding.
What are your views, officer, on this? Like, what are the skills that an individual or student like must learn when they enter the industry in this new era?
I would say it's a combination of all. It's very difficult to pick one or the other. I would, if I'm a recruiter, I would prefer people with those set of skill sets. But if there is a forced rank choice that one has to do, I would put creativity and communication at the top of the ladder. One thing is creativity is something that still a lot of AI solution is something that are challenged with. So that is something that I like to look at. The second one is on communication side. In my view, though modern AI solutions are developing, one negative impact is the communication, right? So in recent Impact Summit, we had a research paper being presented. The title was Highly Networked, Still Highly Lonely, you know. And in the World Economic Forum also, there was a title which was like hyper networking with hyper depression, right? So people start interacting more with the systems, with AI agents, where the human element actually starts taking a hit. So already it is there on the cards, and very soon we will have a system where people will have difficulty in communicating with the people in a very meaningful way. So I would like to give emphasis on people who can talk to people, communicate what is being told in the system. We have AI solution which is generating, let us say, if I'm a health practitioner, if I have a patient who's there, and I get a diagnosis, right? So I cannot just burst out of the diagnosis like, boss, you have this problem with you, right? You have a TB with you, or you have this infection with you. There has to be a gradual way of preparing that person to be able to bear that, have that strength to hear that news, right? So this is a very important skill set which needs to be communicated. Let us say I'm a professor, so I obviously get to know the answer, right? So how do I educate my student in a way, in a meaningful ladder, so that he or she is able to reach that level, right? So this is an important skill. So I'm a parent, so my kid is not listening to me. So I have n number of ideas on the internet. None of this is going to work. So how I am going to communicate this and get the work done so that the target is achieved? So all of us need that communication skill in our personal life, in our professional life. So that is a critical skill set which will come. Because one side effect of AI is that it gives a misplaced sense of expertise, right? So suddenly, you know, the young people with 1 or 2 years experience, I have slight disagreement on one of the slides that you said, it will replace expertise. The freshers with, AI may come as expertise. So expertise is not only a subject matter expertise, it has a lot of other components, a HR component with it, it has a networking component with it. So if I am saying I am a AI ML expert, will the people in this room accept what I am saying? No, there is a trust component in it, right? So all this put together is what expertise comes together, right? If you want to listen to a political leader, we just don't listen to him or her. There is a trust element which comes in because we have been seeing that leader over a period of time. If you are seeing a professor, if you are seeing my doctor, right? I know that my doctor, family doctor for 20 years. So if you say something, go eat this tablet, I will go and eat this tablet. I will not bother to check on the internet because I trust my doctor. So these comes over a period of time, and this develops because of strong, trustworthy communication. So for an organization, it needs to develop this communication skill with an empathy is very much critical. So I would rate communication pretty much at the higher level. Tech literacy, I was discussing with panel members earlier. I believe that everyone is going to be an AI engineer in the future, whether you want it or not. If you are in the job market, you have to learn AI. Otherwise, you are out of the market. So it is only human plus AI. So that is a given basic basis. Critical thinking, creativity, both overlap each other, but communication is something which becomes very important. We want human beings to interact with human beings. That is very critical.
So this question can be taken by any panelist. Like, what do you think a student must learn the foundation? Right now, if, for example, let me take myself, I'm a third year student. So should I learn the foundations now, or should I learn AI tools so that I can adapt to this era? Maybe I'm facing placements in the next 2 or 3 months. So like, what should I learn now, the foundations or the AI tools?
See, I would say there are 3 different things to be focused. So first is the foundation, the domain knowledge, so which is very important. Second is the AI literacy, how you can use AI tools in that domain to make it effective. Third thing is the real world projects. So you should have hands-on experience, which is actually bridging the gap between the theoretical knowledge and the industry-ready product. So all the 3 are equally important.
I think PhD Tech does it very well. Like, PhD Tech sends students to go for interns after their 6th semester, during their 8th semester, and all those things. So with this, we'll move to the next third segment, which is workforce reinvention. So we saw jobs are getting lost. What are the skills that we learn? Now, what are the jobs that have been created in this today's world? So, like, we'll have a poll question, similar poll question. So, are you currently using AI tools for your studies or work or any of your assignments or for your daily works? This is going to be a yes or no question. So, we'll see the results. Meanwhile, we'll discuss about like how a workplace will look like when you have a AI. Because earlier we used to talk about pair programming. But today pair program has been completely changed. You do pair program with Copilot. So how is this going to change? We'll start with Arun sir this time.
Yeah, so the AI workplace is where you work with AI teammate. So the first stage is AI co-pilots, as you said. So co-pilots are the ones which are going to assist you in your daily work. If you are a coder, it's going to code, right? It will help you debug. It can build you software components. So if you are in, let's say, medical field, it can examine the imaging part. So if you are in marketing, it can actually help you optimize the campaigns. So this is the first stage where AI co-pilots assist you in everything. But there's the next stage of AI agents, which I spoke about briefly in the presentation. So where agents work autonomously based on your instruction under the specific guidelines. So agentic workplace is evolving very fast right now. So if it is handled reasonably well, it can create a lot of value, but it should be given guidance. That is very important because it can work autonomously. So that's where the privacy and security concerns also come in. So recently, you would have heard about Claude bot. So it is very potential, but at the same time, it is dangerous also if it takes over for doing wrong things, because you're given the power, right? So it should use the power for the right thing. So it is up to you to instruct it clearly.
Yes, sir. Like, what do you think, Sabisa? Like, how has AI been in our workplace? Like, how has AI is been used in government sites, in government workplaces?
I would say AI adoption has increased drastically. Personally, I use AI for preparing for the meetings. extensively. There are multiple meetings in a day, take the agenda and take the key points, and I just put that and say, help me prepare with that key points and decisions pertaining to me. If I'm attending a meeting of some other department, so which agenda runs for 10-15 pages, I put it and say, pertaining to me, just tell what are the key 5 points that I need to know, what I need to prepare, key terms in that. So that's something that helps me prepare myself, and this I have seen a lot of people also do that. That is one. Second, even in following up on all these aspects, it becomes very easy. No? So it helps in managerial responsibility delegation. So I have assigned things to this person over a period of time, and you know what the tasks are. So it's basically a task related aspect. But in government to citizen aspects, if you see in AI adoption, it has drastically increased in the last 1 year per se. So we have a lot of, let us say, applications in agriculture and health which are being deployed. So farmer-related specific interventions, advisories on climate, disaster management advisories, advisories on health-related aspects to citizens. So these and all have increased drastically, and agents have been deployed for working out on this. So once a trigger point comes, then automatically it's being deployed. So G2C adoption is going to drastically increase in India in the coming months, not even years, coming months. So I feel the adoption in government has increased, and we can see a lot of traction, and people are also excited to use it. And one key thing in challenge in Indian government delivery system is there are a lot of middlemen layers which are there. So people to get a service have to go to an office. So e-governance try to remove that, so you can apply online and try to remove that middleman. So this advent of AI systems actually tries to remove that middleman also, this current layer also. So in G2C, the citizens now, once they are being exposed to few services, there will be a lot of demand which will be there. So I think it will make us a better, administered nation over a period of time.
Maybe in a term of 10 or 15 years, will all the government proceedings or like meetings, will it be completely agentic? Or like
so there was a concept on AI for all, we would have heard. There was an AI agent for all. Can there be an AI agent for everyone, right? So 10-15 years is too long a time. All of us can guess, it's as good as anyone's guess. No one is sure. Talking about AI, we tend to overestimate the power of AI in the short term and underestimate in the long term. Right, so 10-15 years is too long a time. I'm sure that now we have the 4th standard kids studying basics of AI, right? So in 10-15 years, that boy or girl is going to graduate out of the college. So that population is going to be in the market segment, prime segment, right? So in 10-15 years, the adoption is going to be phenomenal.
CBSE has included like the learning of packages of scikit-learn and MATLAB in the 11th standard itself now from this year. So I was looking into that. So let's get the views from Pranav sir also. So like, how has AI been used in your workplace, and how do you use AI? And are new jobs been created, and how is it?
Right, so obviously I cannot talk about any of the internal procedures, but but let me give you an idea of what a AI-enabled workspace would look like. So what would happen basically is the human's tasks would primarily revolve around problem formulation of ambiguous things, right? So when things are ambiguous and when there is a lot of context and complexity, identifying the specific problems, prioritizing them, and coming up with possibly the best optimized solution for that would be the primary task of the human beings. Now, implementation of those solutions would be largely handled by artificial intelligence. Right. So as I was saying, artificial intelligence would handle the implementation aspect of the solution design that human beings come up with. Right. That is how it will be.
So I think the poll also says the same. People are using AI in their daily works. I think the majority of 89% people uses ChatGPT to create their meeting notes or in the assignments and everything. So we'll move to the next segment, to the segment 4. So we saw that jobs are being displaced We saw the skills that we need to learn. We saw the new jobs that have been created. Now we'll move into the segment like mitigating job displacement. What is the action agenda that a company or an industry must look into right now so that we can adapt to this current AI era? So we'll start it with Safi sir this time. Like, how should a company or a industry or a government organization should adapt it? Like India is adapting to the AI era, but we are not sure every countries in the world are adapting, and how should a country or a government approach towards it?
A lot of emphasis is there on the skilling and reskilling aspect. So that is the first thing which is happening at a mass scale. So new courses for people, students, people who are in the job market, and bringing academic changes at AICT level, UGC level, or other IITs, IICs, NCRT level, state boards. So this is happening at academic level. Then there is a skilling level for new entrants and also for people who are getting displaced. Then another important thing which is happening is creating this infrastructure for training at Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities. About 570 labs are being done by India Mission itself. The other labs by employment department, polytechnics are also being done AI ready in Tier 2, Tier 3 cities. That is the key focus of government also, because this has potential to create vast digital divide. Already there is some element of divide, but then the divide comes because of geography. The divide comes because of the ability to know English. Most of the models are now well performing only with English background. So which means that people who know or convenient with English will have better opportunity to use these models rather than someone who doesn't speak or is not comfortable with English. So language is going to be a big divider in AI. So these are the various aspects which government is trying to work in. I will not get into all the schemes. I touched it in the morning. But at the academic level, school, college, higher education, at the skilling level, and at a Tier 2, Tier 3 city level, trying to reduce the geographic divide. So these are the main focus areas of government.
How about for a government to adapt to the resources? Like many industries are lacking in many institutions are lacking in like GPUs and resources so that they can use AI, but many institutions does not have. Like maybe a Tier 1 institution or Tier 2 institutions like PSG Tech or IITs, they have enough of resources of GPUs. What about other institutions, how they can adapt? Is the government taking any initiatives regarding it?
We have empaneled about 14 cloud service providers, 38,000 GPUs within our country, and these are available at the compute pillar of India. If you just go to a search engine and go, search, you will get this compute pillar where you can apply and take this subsidized GPU, which is roughly about 65 rupees, $0.8 US dollars per GPU hour, which is the cheapest in the entire world. So that is what government is trying to do, provide this core infrastructure, and also a lot of the models which are coming up, it is being put in the data layer, AI Kosh, again, which is there on the website, which is an open weight system. So people need not rework and redesign the entire models, but it is available for the entire ecosystem. So government tries to provide this infrastructure to the people, and now it is being increased by about 20,000 more in the next 6 months or so. That infrastructure is being created over a period of time, and some of the servers and also now GPUs would also be started through Make in India through certain agencies, not in a big way but in a limited way in the next few years. As far as the memory is concerned, the storage devices, again investment is being done in certain parts of our country. So we are trying to address that silicon chain, supply chain problem also, but this requires huge investment and long period of time. It doesn't just appear like if you want to develop one GPU manufacturing facility, it takes about 1 lakh crore or something like that. Investment with specialization, HR facilities available, some 200 plus acres with all the resource availability, and 3-4 years. So this is the sort of matrix that we look in. So it just cannot be done overnight, but movement is happening towards that.
Hear it from Arun sir. It's like how are industries adapting to reskilling their employees? So we spoke about freshers earlier. Now what about the experienced people? Are industries investing in making them to reskill, or how is it happening today?
Yeah, it is really important for industries to enable reskilling programs, because it's better to reskill rather than rehire. Because if these professionals who don't have AI literacy, if they move out, they need to rehire, right? So, but those who are coming new to the industry will not have this domain expertise that the senior professionals have in the company. So it's always beneficial for the company as well to reskill the existing employees. But the onus has to be there from the professional side also, like he needs to take the responsibility in keeping himself updated with this AI tools.
So we'll hear from Pranav sir his views on this, like how can we reskill, or like industries are reskilling on this, and like what is the situation now?
Right. So my opinion is, see, what industries are fundamentally looking to do is maximize business productivity, maximize profit, right? So when they try to upskill their employees, they are focused on the application side of a upcoming new technology like AI. So what industries will proceed to do is they will primarily focus on tool enablement, and not purely from a learning perspective, but a tool enablement that will further their business productivity, right? So that's how industries and corporates operate. They are driven by the strongest incentive known to man generally, which is money. So they will focus purely on business productivity, maximizing profits and minimizing their losses.
So yeah, sir, we have completed the 4 segments. So we'll move into a rapid fire question. So we'll start from Arun sir, Safi sir, and Pranav sir for each question. So what do you think one skill every student must learn immediately is?
Learn to learn fast, unlearn and relearn.
So your views. One skill every student must learn immediately.
Ability to use generative AI to learn, ability to learn through the technology.
Pranav sir, your views.
It would be at least making an attempt to master adaptability, and also to some degree master systems thinking.
So the next will be like, if an institution ignores AI, what will be the consequence that we face?
You risk producing people who are not future ready.
Safi sir, your views. If an institution ignores AI,
Without AI, the institution will become obsolete.
When a species doesn't adopt the optimal adaptation, it doesn't evolve.
so the last one is this: what is the safest career in AI? This was the most searched question when I was referring.
So you can
Yeah.
ultimately you can drop all this, you can sit under a tree and become a philosopher.
There is no safest career.
There's only safest strategy that you can play. You try to adapt yourself, learning new tools and techniques. You have to reskill yourself. There is no end to it.
So yeah, we have received a few questions from our audience also. We opened up G form three days back, and we are overwhelmed by the responses, and we have handpicked a few questions for you. So we had a question from Rudransh from second year CSE. So his question was, if my best work is 70% AI generated, is it still my work? How do we prevent a systematic rise when the human contribution becomes the smallest part of my work? So work is 70% AI generated, but is it still his work, even if his contribution is less to it?
See, just stepping back, one question which came up is, if you use a creative content using an AI, will it be your content? Right. So in India, it's still being debated. In US, the general thing is, if there is a element of human prompting and other things, still it's an IP-driven content. So to the answer to this question, if it is 70% AI generated, still I have 30%, or even 98% AI generated and 2% human being intervention, human in the loop is there, the responsibility will always be on the human being. So it is on the human being where the buck stops, where the responsibility lies. So I would answer by saying yes, because the onus of saying yes or no to that 70% is on the human being. So it is his or her responsibility.
Anyone wants to add any?
Yeah,
more?
exactly. So it's just like maybe you are using calculator for your max exam, right? So doesn't mean that calculator is doing the job, but you are giving the input and getting the output, ensuring the output is correct. So it's still yours.
It's again like a pair programming we do with Copilot. Like it's again a pair programming that we do with Copilot. We debug it again, we get it again. So there was another question from Shloka. So is it like corporate layoffs are common nowadays? But is it the corporate layoffs are common nowadays? Is it because of AI the layoffs are happening today? Or is it general that is happening all these days?
Layoffs are happening primarily due to various reasons. I would say the primary reason being economy downturn situations. So that has got a major share, but there is a minor share which is happening due to AI. But overall, it looks like it's due to AI because it is a comfortable reason for big companies also to say today that okay, these layoffs have happened because of AI. They don't want to say that probably we don't have enough pipelines in the projects or if the revenue stream is low, so they don't want to tell those reasons. So instead they're saying it is restructuring due to AI, but it is not completely true while a portion of it is true.
One criticism of AI is that there is a huge investment which has happened, like trillions of dollars. If you see NVIDIA investing few trillions in Gemini, Gemini investing few trillions in OpenAI, and you can work out on the circular investment. So far, the return on investment on AI has been poor, right? So that is something we all have to keep in mind. This is what the pessimists of AI say, that at some point it will not create to the extent of impact that we want it to be, because there is no economic returns which is happening. If you see 1 year back when the ChatGPT OpenAI came up, the subscription was around 1,500 or something. Now it is all fallen down with Gemini 3. After release, it is almost free. And other models are also at 100 rupees, 200 rupees. So it's becoming commodified, right? So that's something that we need to have. So what happens to this investment of trillions of dollars which has happened? So to answer this question, we need to look at whether the corporations would invest in AI if there is no economic returns, right? Economic returns is in terms of more revenue or cost cutting, right? So you have to do something. So something which is happening is now on the cost cutting, because you are not able to see so much revenue returns which are coming up. So you have to cut costs. You cut on human resource and other things. So that's the first element. Second is the economy of the world has been growing rapidly in the last 20 years like anything. Right? If you look at Indian growth, 7%, 8%, 7%, 8%. Recently, if you had followed news 3 days back, the China's growth forecast as released by the Communist Party of China is the lowest in the last 20 years. Right? That is about China's growth forecast. Europe is almost saturating after Brexit. With the international geopolitical things happening, US growth also is being looked in with mixed views. We have to understand that after 20 years of rapid growth, the economy is now trying to stabilize. If you see the stock market in the last 3 months gone down by 3-4%, not because of AI alone, it's because of a lot of geopolitical happenings. People are uncertain about the future. So it is combination of all these factors which is trying to affect the job market as of now. So people put it to AI, but it is not so in my view. What is happening to our jobs not related to AI? Is it increasing? I don't think so. It is also actually decreasing, which means there are a lot of other elements which are there.
Right. So how I view it is, industries and corporate in the technology world, they effectively represent the highest structures of power in terms of application of technology, right? So now with the upcoming of new technological advancements, naturally these companies will direct resources in the directions that they believe will benefit them the best, right? So now they're all directing money and resources into AI and its related fields, and even if they have been solving problems in different areas earlier, they may feel that those problems are no longer as relevant as maintaining monopoly and dominance in the world of AI, right? So they are doing that structural change at that level, and for them an employee is just another cog in the full system, right? They will add as many cogs as they want, they will throw out as many cogs as they don't want. So they are not operating on a personal individual level. They are looking at things at a full blown system that is almost operating at a very higher ethos that is difficult for an individual to even perceive, right? So for them it's about their agendas and they move in their own ways, and naturally with whatever solutions that they do come up with, they do help human race, the race in general, move forward. But yes, that's how it happens, right? So if companies are going through firing cycles and hiring cycles, that's just part of transformation and evolution.
We have the last question. It is from Dr. Manavalansa from Computer Applications Department. Like, it is like, how can societies balance the adoption of AI with strategic delays to ensure humans remain relevant in the decision-making ends? How can societies balance the adoption of AI with strategic delays to ensure humans remain relevant in decision-making?
We have the safety and security, the safeguards which have to be put in, right? The ethics basically of any AI deployment. When we talk about the explainability frameworks, when we talk about algorithmic auditing, these are all the measures or biased mitigation. These are all the measures which the society has to put in to ensure that the AI is actually ready for a public deployment. So that is one. This ensures that the solution is people ready. The second one is the human in the loop is always very critical, at least at this point of stage where we are in all the application. So there is always a human being which is required before it's ready to go, right? And with auditing and bias mitigation and accountability, explainability frameworks, we can ensure that the human is always relevant. Ultimately, AI is a tool to serve a human beings in discharging certain objectives. We should not lose sight of that.
Any other one wants to add a point on this? About you? So the final question, like, has AI not touched any job or any field right now? I think each one can add if there is any field.
AI has not touched politics so far.
Will it touch politics?
Something, I don't know in which country, there was an AI bot which stood for a mayor election. You should Google and find out. So it was just for a publicity gimmick, but then it is possible. If you look at, there was another professor in some university in the Western world who created an AI in avatar for TA session, technical address session. So you first look at the TA because he fed with all the videos of his videos at MIT and fed him, all the hours, the proprietary videos, and that AI avatar has all the answers over the last few years. So firstly, before taking a time of professor, you have to meet that avatar, and the professor would then look at whether that answer has been answered or not, and then only he will give a time. So a lot of interesting things are happening. So even politics is not immune. Whether we would be like to govern by a neutral, objective AI agent, a very interesting question. Why not?
We will have to look into the future, like how is it going? So any other panelists want to add upon, like any field that is not AI touched?
Right, so see, AI will basically not touch any field where the impact of the solutions is not very easily measurable, right? Whenever you have a discussion where there's solutions or you arrive at a conclusion, but that conclusion is not easily measurable, right? So just things in the ether like sacrifice, glory, valor, these are not measurable, right? So when you enter discussions at this level, AI doesn't really operate at that level, right? So it has still not penetrated that level of discussion.
Probably in relationship counseling. Let's say someone files for a divorce, so husband and wife, I'm sure they will not hear judgment from an AI agent. They would want another human to be involved there.
Maybe if the model trains with their data, it can make a decision.
Yeah, it can take a decision, that's what I'm saying, but still humans would not accept the decision coming from an AI agent. But it can add its input. I'm sure it is already doing a vital role in legal processing, but still when it's coming to judgment, especially for relationship, humans will value the human thing.
So, yes. So, like we are at the end of the panel discussion. Is there any questions from the audience side? Any faculties or any students wants to give an on-spot question, or we'll go to the conclusion?
This Adalat AI application, which has been deployed in a few high courts, which is making the job of document writing very easy. So far, the citizen has a lot of challenges in reaching to the court. So this is a very friendly app which is coming up and used in few high courts, Kerala High Court and other high court, which is being done. So this is but not to replace anyone or judges, of course, but if you look at, I want to file a case, the only way I have to do is I go out to find the advocate. He or she is going to, it's going difficult, I have to pay, and by the time I learn the legal language is going to be a big way. So there is an app is helping in drafting those things, which is a very welcome initiative, I feel.
Sure. Actually, it should help in resolving the cases soon, because I see that there are so many thousands of cases pending in Supreme Court. So this fast processing with the AI can help resolve the cases soon. It can help.
Sorry, so yeah, we have almost come to the conclusion of the panel discussion. We don't call it as a conclusion. Usually, the Karpang ma'am used to say, it is not a, yes.
As far as placement is concerned, this year we are going to touch around 1,000. It is not affected by AI, for your information. All companies are looking only for problem solving, including Arun Kumar. If he tries, he looks only for problem solving. All other things, quickly they will be able to adapt. AI there long back. It is not new. Previously, it was reasoning based, logic driven. Now it is data driven, right? More data, more value. Who is efficient? One who is having lot of data. I hope you will be able to appreciate. That is the reason why you attach all the time machine learning. If it is not there, there is no AI, right? Autonomous vehicles run because of data, not because of technology. Thank you.
So I think sir gave a better conclusion that I have prepared. So like, yeah, it is not a conclusion, it is a bottom line. We don't know what the future is. We can't say there is a conclusion, but a takeaway that we can take away from here is, we need to adapt to the situation of the current era. We have learned a few things, we need to unlearn and we have to relearn to the new things so that we can adapt to this current AI augmented world. There is a famous word in Tamil, Matram Ondre Nilayanadu. So let's adapt to the situation. Let's make in India, let's make an Indian products, as Prime Minister used to say, and let's make India a superpower in AI. Thank you, and thank you all for this opportunity, and thank you panelists, and thank you SU.
Thank you for those insightful perspectives. As a token of our gratitude, we would like to present a memento. I request Dean Placement, Dr. R. Natarajan sir, to present the memento to Mr. Mohammad Y. Safrullah. I request Director, PSG AI Consortium, Dr. G.R. Karpagam ma'am, to present the memento to Mr. Arun Kumar. I request Student Affairs Professor C.G. Shivakumar sir to present the memento to Mr. Pranav Ramalingam. As we draw this enriching session to a close, I would like to take a moment to express our sincere and heartfelt gratitude to everyone who made today possible. I now invite Ms. Kavindra, Secretary Science, to propose the vote of thanks.
Good evening, everyone. On behalf of the organizing team, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to all those made this panel discussion a meaningful and successful event. First and foremost, I extend our heartfelt thanks to our respected panelists, Mohammad Y. Safarullah K, IAS, Director of India AI Mission, Arun Kumar A, Co-founder and Director of Shamla Tech Solutions, and Pranav Shankar Ramalingam, QA Analyst 2 at Oracle Financial Services Software. Thank you for sharing your valuable insights, knowledge, and experiences with us today. I would also like to thank our moderator, Sanjay J, for skillful guiding the decision and making the session engaging and insightful. We extend our sincere gratitude to our respected principal, Dr. K. Prakasan, for his continuous encouragement and support in promoting such knowledge-sharing platforms for students. I would also like to thank all the faculty members, organizers, and students whose effort behind the scene helped make this event possible. And thank you to the Dr. G.R. Karpagam ma'am for guiding us with this panel discussion, and heartfelt thanks to PSG IAI Consortium and CSE Department for their support in the conduct of this panel discussion. Once again, thank you everyone for being a part of this wonderful session. Thank you.